Happy Camper Radio starts in 3, 2, 1. Oh, is it cold outside? Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Happy Camper Radio Show, the only place you need to be when you're ready to talk camping. Camping is what we're about. Camping is all we talk about. In episode 137 today, we're going to be talking with Michael Robertson of DeluxeCamping.com. Michael has some wonderful camping products that he'd like to introduce to you. Do you have some individuals in your family that you would consider non-campers? You may be surprised it's not the outdoor elements that's keeping them away. Maybe a few extra camp appliances to your camping inventory is all you need to make their life a whole lot better and draw them into the great outdoors. Michael has some of them available on his website, and he's here with us today to talk about some of them. So stick around. Our phone number here at the Happy Camper Radio Show is 404-537-2267. That's 404-537-CAMP. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Camp Talker, add us to Circles on Google+, and now subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've made it so convenient for you to connect up with us. Go to www.happycamperradio.com. You'll find all the links right there on the right-hand side of the page. Feel free to subscribe, look around, take the studio tour, and by all means, check out my new blog page that I've got there. It's in the upper right-hand corner of the toolbar over on the right-hand side. What I want to do right now is reach out to some newcomers to the show and welcome them on board for the very first time. First of all, we want to say hello to Kirk Chisholm of Lexington, Massachusetts, Bert M., they're both following us on Twitter, to Mark Stock, who added us to Circles on Google+, and finally, Ashley Joyce, who subscribed to our YouTube channel. Thank you all so very much. Glad to have you on board, and most important of all, thank you for being a part of this great Happy Camper Radio family. Would you like to be a guest on the program? By all means, get in touch with me, Skip, S-K-I-P, at happycamperradio.com. If there's something in the world of camping that you want to talk about, if you've got a great new product line that you want to introduce to the world, definitely get in touch with me and we'll make that happen. Hey, speaking of my blog page, I was pretty active here this past week on it, and one of the things I most recently posted was something about the Happy Camper Radio Roadshow. From time to time, I do step away from the studio and take the show out on the road. I have done that a number of different occasions, and I have so much fun doing it. Oftentimes, people wonder what goes on behind the scenes of a radio broadcast or a podcast. You hear the voice, you may be carrying the voice with you in your earbuds, or maybe out on the hiking trail somewhere, or maybe even in your vehicle as you're traveling. There are so many different ways that you can connect up with radio broadcasts as well as podcasts. So many things have changed in the electronic world over the years. I'm so surprised. But when I started building the Happy Camper Radio studio a little more than 3 years ago, I started to also build a road case that I would be using to take the show out on the road to campgrounds, to trade shows. Again, I haven't done any of them yet, but there's a number of different places I could actually take the Happy Camper Radio show. And believe it or not, I have so much fun when I am out of the studio, even though it's comfortable in here. And I've got the heater on today because the temperatures out there are just brutal. And I'm having a good time. I'm here in the studio. I'm nice and warm. But when I go out on the road, I have the opportunity to actually see our listeners as they sit across the table from me and be able to talk to people one-on-one. There is no greater experience than doing just that. And if you go to the blog page, right there, the most recent blog I have, it's the Happy Camper Radio Roadshow, and you'll get to see some pictures not only of the road case, but also some of the equipment that I take on the road with me. In addition to my personal headset that I wear, I have 2 guest microphones sitting in front of me. I've added some microphone and headphone preamplifiers, laptop and second monitor, complete audio and recording capabilities. I can even bring a guest in by cell phone and have that connected to the little portable console that sits right there on the table in front of me. Again, check out the blog page on happycamperradio.com. It's the Happy Camper Radio Roadshow. I'm hoping to do a few more of those in 2016 and do a lot more as my retirement years approach. So be looking for some of our shows out there on the road. If you see that big green case parked at a campsite near you, you know you're just a couple hours away from the next edition of Happy Camper Radio. All right, folks, let's go to the lines right now, and I'm going to pull this gentleman up here on the console. I had a wonderful opportunity to talk with him. These are some fantastic Deluxe camping products that I know that you will enjoy, and you'll have an opportunity to hear from this gentleman as well as visit his website where you can see firsthand some of these products in action. Let's go to the phone lines right now. We are delighted to have on the program today Michael Robertson of DeluxeCamping.com. Michael, welcome to the program.
Good morning, Skip. It's great to be with you today.
Thank you so very much. What's your temperatures out there on the West Coast?
I'm not on the West Coast.
You're not?
I'm in the mountains of Utah.
Well,
yeah. And we got a couple of extra inches of snow. I've got about 2 feet in my yard. And I was out early this morning scraping snow with my four-wheeler with the blade on front.
We're not too far behind you because we're dealing with some of the lowest temperatures here in the metro Atlanta area that we've seen all year. I think it's about 19 degrees outside, but of course we're nice and warm here in the studio, so this is going to be a great day to sit down and talk about camping.
It's a good day to be inside.
That it is. Michael, you've got some great camping products on your website, and I've got to say I had the opportunity to browse through it and look at all of them. One of the items that I looked at here was your Deluxe Camp Sink. Now, before we go into discussing the Deluxe Camp Sink, I need to put something on the table here right from the very beginning. I'm a primitive camper. I do a lot of camping away from a public and a private campground environment. When I go out in the wilderness, I am trucking in a lot of water to my campsite, and they're generally in 5-gallon jugs. For the most part, there's going to be a jug of water sitting on the edge of a table with the spigot facing toward the ground. Anytime that I need to wash my hands or wash some pots, a lot of that water is going to hit the ground, and it creates mud puddles. And next thing you know, mud is getting tracked in and out all over the place, in some cases inside the tent. The Deluxe Camp Sink pretty much eliminates all of that, doesn't it?
It really does. In fact, that's one of the reasons my wife enjoys this sink so much, because you can wash your hands without touching your water supply, so you don't contaminate that water source. It captures the water, it's foot operated, and it doesn't create a mess. It saves the water. You could wash your hands probably 100 times with the 5 gallons of water in the supply bucket and not run out of water.
One of the things I've got to ask here, and I'm sure you've been hit up with this question before, why should I buy a Deluxe Camp Sink instead of building a bucket sink on my very own?
That's a great question, Skip. I first saw this sink about 5 years ago at a camp. Actually, my wife saw a bucket sink, and she said, "Michael, come take a look at this. Can you build one of these for me?" So I went over and looked at it. It was a rudimentary bucket sink. And then I came home and I got on the internet. I saw some examples. And since that time of building the first one, I've built hundreds of sinks. And I've continued to improve, adding new features, functionality, durability. And so the Deluxe Camp Sink today is the best foot-operated bucket sink that you can find.
When you say foot-operated, you actually pump water into the spigot and it drains inside of a bucket that is attached to the table. Is that correct?
Exactly. When you want to wash your hands, you don't have to touch a knob to turn on the water. You don't have to turn the spigot to turn the water on. You just come up to the sink, press up and down with your foot. When you're pressing up and down, the water comes out. When you stop pumping, the water stops coming.
What I'm looking at here on the website, we have one bucket that is on the ground, and that contains your freshwater source. That water is pumped into another bucket that's attached to the sink, and once that's filled up, that's your wastewater. You dump it out, and you just refill your bucket on the ground with fresh water.
Exactly. One of the things that is nice about saving that gray water is there are uses for that when you're camping. You could use it to put the fire out when you're going to bed at night. If you've got a privy bucket, you can rinse the privy bucket out with that, or just throw it away.
And one of the things about this here, too, is everything is nice and compact. The table folds up, the buckets stack inside one another, so you're really not using too much storage space.
It really is nice. It's good for storage and transport. It only weighs about 15, 16 pounds. And packs away nice in the corner of your camp trailer or your garage. And when you come and set it up, it's fully functional, including with the soap dispenser. One of the features that I added, I always wanted to have a towel holder on the sink. And I looked to clamp one on here or there, it just didn't work. And so the vertical part of the spigot, I measured exactly to fit a paper towel holder, paper towel roll, and it's snug. So when your kids or grandkids come to take a paper towel, they don't go zzz and take 10 pieces of paper towel.
Now, you also have a Deluxe filtration camp sink. What's that one all about? I noticed there's a few more attachments to this.
Well, you mentioned that you take a lot of water with you when you go camping. Oftentimes when you go camping, you're near a stream or lake, and that water can be filtered and used. So you don't have to schlep all that water with you when you go camping. And so the filtration Deluxe camp sink adds one additional bucket with a filter between that bucket and the supply bucket for the sink. So you can dump lake water in that top bucket. It'll filter it down so that everything you're using in the Deluxe camp sink is filtered and cleaned. You can brush your teeth with it. You can wash your face with it, take a drink. It's a great system for a situation where you're doing primitive camping and don't want to take a lot with you.
And our listeners, too, can actually go to your website and see some videos that you have there of the Deluxe camp sink and the Deluxe filtration camp sink in action.
Exactly. It helps to see it in action and see the difference between using the Deluxe camp sink versus the method that you explained, where you have a container of water on your picnic table and you're pouring water on the ground and splashing it all over you. It's a great little 4.5-minute video.
Michael, I was delighted to hear that you managed to marry a city girl, that for somehow, some way, you managed to get her out into the world of camping. I was never that lucky.
Oh, you didn't marry a city girl, or you did?
Oh, I married a city girl, all right. She just never could get into it.
That's been the whole genesis of my company, is I've tried to design products that helps my reluctant camping city girl get out in the outdoors. And it's worked somewhat. She likes to go camping when she can be clean and comfortable. And so the Deluxe camp sink and the Deluxe tent shower allows her to do that.
Yeah, these products do help. Now, you mentioned the Deluxe tent shower. That also is on your website. And here's what the funny thing is. Last week on the show, we were talking for the first time about bringing portable toilets to the campsite. And I did mention on the program about some of these shower tents that can be used for privacy purposes when you're not taking a shower. You can actually put the portable toilet inside there, and you've got all the privacy you need. And I noticed on the website, on your video, you demonstrate just how that can be used.
That's exactly right. The ability to have your equipment multitask. And one of the beauties of the Deluxe tent shower is that you can use it outside a tent. But if you have a big tent, you can put the Deluxe tent shower inside your tent. You have a hot pressurized shower, it captures that water and will actually drain it outside. Then when you're through showering, you just tip the tub up and put your commode in there, and you've got the dual purpose.
And in your video, you have it all worked out too, where the water that is drained from that shower actually goes through a hose to the outside of the tent. And because you have a 2-foot long pipe, I believe it is, that's buried in the ground, you don't have that soggy water. You don't have those mud puddles outside. And that's something that's really beneficial for anybody walking around the campsite.
Yeah, if it's a long-term camp, then you don't want to create a muddy situation for your neighbor. If it's just a couple of days or maybe a week and it's a dry area, you can let the water drain out and have no problem. But I've tried to think through every issue that would be associated with showering and capturing that water and then taking care of that water so it's not a nuisance.
Now, I think this is important. Explain this to us, Michael. A lot of the portable tent showers that I have seen set up have a bag that hangs directly above you. All right. And it's one of those solar bags that's supposed to heat up. And of course, that's not going to do you any good whatsoever if you're camping in the winter. But in this particular case, you have a canister that is filled up with hot water, and it's really not on demand, so you don't have water constantly running. How much water is held inside that tank, and how many showers could you get out of that?
The canister, the pump sprayer, is a 3.5 gallon. And my wife has thick curly hair, as does my daughter. When we three go camping, both my wife and my daughter take a comfortable shower with that much water. And there's usually a little bit left over for me. And I'm a bald guy, so I don't have to wash my hair. But let me mention the solar bags, because I love solar bags for heating water in the summer. But when I've gone camping and tried to use a solar bag to take a shower, unfortunately the tree is never there with a convenient branch for me to hang that bag to take a good shower. And the nice thing about the pump sprayer, I put the hot water in from the solar bag and then pressurize it and take it in the shower tent and use it wherever I need to. And I don't have to lift a lot of heavy water above my head, which is a safety issue.
So what you're doing is you're bringing this canister in, and it's got a hose attachment. And for the most part, you just wet yourself down, you lather up, and basically rinse yourself off. And you're not using that much water at all.
Exactly.
And you mentioned that this particular tent can be set up inside a larger tent. What is the exact height of it?
It's 7 foot tall. It's got a 4x4 footprint. And so if somebody's camping in cold weather, you certainly don't want to go outside your tent to take a shower.
Oh, no.
In fact, a lot of people in cold weather camping don't take a shower because there's no means to do that. They might take a sponge bath or they don't do anything to clean their body because they're not camping maybe longer than a week. Tell you what, my city girl wife sure likes to take a shower every day or every other day, regardless of the weather.
Yes, I've been there, done that already. Anyway, Michael, listen, where can folks go to learn more about the products that you have for sale? And where can they order them online?
I've got complete information, including pictures and videos on both the Deluxe Camp Sink and the Deluxe Tent Shower at my website, deluxecamping.com. They can there learn about them, and then they can order them right there online. I ship all over the country, and I promise to take good care of you. These are high-quality products. And if you want to make big points with your wife or even for yourself, you will love to have these products. One thing that I wanted to mention too, Skip, is that kids especially typically don't wash their hands much, especially when camping, but they love to use a Deluxe Camp Sink.
And that is so very important, too, because even as grown adults, when we get into the camping scene, we tend to forget sometimes just how many germs are out there, but it's never on our mind. And it's important to actually wash your hands and keep yourself clean as much as you possibly can. So if you have a Deluxe Camp Sink right there next to you, It's not going to be any problem at all to go over there and wash up and wash your hands before dinner, after dinner, or whenever the need may arise.
You're exactly right. In fact, an example of that, I went backpacking with the Boy Scouts this summer for 3 days up in the mountains of Utah. And I'm embarrassed to say that I only washed my hands twice, and that was both times in the lake. But when you have a camp sink in your campsite, it's easy and convenient, and your hands get washed frequently.
Well, Michael, I want to take this opportunity to thank you for sitting down and talking with us today about these wonderful products. And again, our listeners can go to deluxecamping.com and take a look at these wonderful items, as well as view some of the videos to see exactly how they operate. Michael, thank you so very much for joining us today, and I'm looking forward again to talking with you soon.
Thank you, Skip. It's great to visit with you, and you have a great day.
What do you think about that? Wow. Think about it. You add the Deluxe Camp Sink and the Deluxe Tent Shower to your camping supply inventory. How much more convenient that's going to make your camping life, not only your next trip, but future trips down the road. You enjoy it, you appreciate it, and so will your family. Michael, again, thank you so very much for taking time to talk with us on the show today. It's time now for our featured campground of the week here on the Happy Camper Radio Show.
Yep.
You know, oftentimes this time of year, I'm always looking for places to go camping. And depending upon what part of the country you live in, you may find many campgrounds are closed up for the season. Take what's going on up north right now. There's a lot of places getting hit with snow out there in Utah where Michael's at. You just talked about 2 feet of snow on the ground. Not the best camping weather unless, of course, you're a wintertime camper. But if you'll enjoy camping in warmer temperatures, even if they're not too warm, you may find some campgrounds open year-round. And if you're in the state of Mississippi, we've got one here for you today. It's North Graysport. It's part of the Granada Lake, run by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, and it is our featured campground of the week here on the Happy Camper Radio Show. Whether it's fishing, boating, camping, or picnicking, Granada Lake has something for everyone. It's located near Gore Springs, Mississippi. The North Gray Springs campground is far enough inland from the lake to avoid the sounds of boat motors if that bothers you any, but still close enough for a short drive to fishing, boating, and if you're visiting in the summer months, swimming. It's a great place to visit. A lot of good, useful information is available on their website. The campground has 50 campsites, each with water and electrical hookups. Additional amenities include hot showers, a boat ramp, and an amphitheater. Check out the activities and amenities right there on the website. Know this before you go. We talk about this all the time, folks, and it's really becoming an issue in almost all parts of the country. If you're going to buy your firewood, purchase it locally. Don't haul it in from another region, because you do that and you've got these tree-killing insects that invade that area. And that's what you don't want to do. That's what everybody's trying to avoid. So you can do this. You can enjoy a great campfire if you purchase your firewood locally and burn it locally. We've got links to it on our website as well as the featured campground website here. It's don'tmovefirewood.org. Click on that for all of the useful information. And by the way, folks, if you haven't already signed up for a recreation.gov account, now may be the time to do that. When you click on the featured campground, look for this little gray box in the upper right-hand corner. It says sign in or sign up. You click on that, you fill out some basic information, and it makes your reservation experience at recreation.gov a whole lot easier each and every time you go there to make a reservation at one of their several hundred campsites. It's a great tool to have, and it's a great thing to keep handy if you're going to be using recreation.gov and visiting some of these featured campgrounds that we talk about each and every week. But this is one place you can consider if you want to go camping any time of the year. It's going to be on our website all week long. It's North Graysport in Mississippi, and it is our featured campground of the week here on the Happy Camper Radio Show. And of course, if you have a campground that you would like for us to feature on the program, by all means, get in touch with me, Skip, S-K-I-P, at happycamperradio.com, and make sure you include a link to the campground website. Well, Michael, thank you again so much for being on the program. It was great talking with you, and looking forward to hearing from you again somewhere down the road. Remember, folks, every pet deserves a loving home. Do like I did. Visit your local shelter and adopt a pet today. You can catch us online anytime at www.happycamperradio.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Camp Talker, add us to Circles on Google+, and now subscribe to our brand new YouTube channel. The Happy Camper Radio Show is a presentation of Skip Huber Productions. I'm Skip. I am a happy camper, and no question about it, my friends, I'm going to do my very best to make a happy camper out of you. Have a great week, everybody. We'll catch you next weekend. This is Happy Camper Radio.